Hello students, in this video we are going to talk about diagrammatic presentation of data. Presentation of data is the third stage in statistical inquiry that comes after collection and organization of data, which we have already studied. So let's start with qualities of a good diagram. A good diagram should be neatly drawn and it should look attractive. A proper scale should be mentioned in the diagram. The diagram should have a suitable and a crisp heading. A key box, or what we commonly call as index, should be mentioned in the diagram for identification of different type of components. Diagrams are of two types. One-dimensional diagrams like bar diagram, where only one aspect, that is height of the diagram, is considered in order to compare different values, and two-dimensional diagrams like pie diagrams, where both height as well as width is considered in order to compare the values. Coming to one-dimensional diagrams now, let's start with the simple bar diagram. A simple bar diagram can be drawn horizontally or vertically. It is drawn to show a single set of numerical data. One thing that we need to keep in mind is this, that width of all bars should be same, whereas height will differ according to the value given in the question. Let's try to understand this with the help of an example. For the given value of data, we are going to plot years on x-axis like 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. In order to plot production on y-axis, first we have to check the highest value given in the data. The highest value given is 55. So we can divide y-axis in a gap of 10 tons like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Now let's start drawing. We can see that for 91 the production was 45 tons. So my first bar will be like this. For year 92 the production was 40 tons. So my second bar will be like this. And finally, a clear version of diagram will look somewhat like this, in which production is shown on y-axis and years are shown on x-axis. You can observe that width of all bars is same, whereas height is different depending upon the value given in the question. Our next diagram, very similar to simple bar diagram, is multiple bar diagram. As I have already told you that simple bar diagram is used to represent a single set of numerical data. But when we have more than 2 or 3 categories of variable, then we use multiple bar diagram. In the case of multiple bar diagram, adjoining bars are drawn in order to show different types of data. It can be seen that I have given this data of profit before and after tax. Again, on x-axis, I am going to represent years 98, 99, 2000 and 2001. I am going to represent profit on y-axis. Now, in order to divide y-axis, we have to consider data given in both the columns, that is before tax and after tax. So highest value is 200. I can divide my y-axis in gap of 20 each, and then I can draw adjoining bar in order to show the profit before tax and profit after tax. So for this year my profit is 195 before tax and after tax it is 80. Similarly, we can draw these adjoining bars and my final diagram will look somewhere like this. Again, notice that height is different but width of all bars is same. Also, here you can see that different set of shading is used to denote profit before tax and after tax. So we need to mention a key box or index in order to show which bar is showing profit after tax and which bar is showing profit before tax. A similar diagram is a subdivided bar diagram, in which, like multiple bar diagram, we show more than one variable, but the difference between a subdivided and multiple bar diagram is this. In the case of multiple bar diagram, we make adjoint bar, but in the case of a subdivided bar diagram, we make a combined bar showing different aggregates as a part of that bar only. For example, as it can be seen that thermal, hydro and nuclear, three sources of electricity are shown in a single bar diagram rather than showing them as an adjoining bar. In order to draw a subdivided bar diagram, we first need to have the total of values that we have to show. For example, if we have to show expenditure of family A and family B, then first of all we need to total the expenditure incurred by both the families, and then we have to draw a combined bar in which we will further divide this total according to different components. Both subdivided as well as multiple bar diagrams are used in order to show more than one set of numerical data. Again, a similar bar diagram related to subdivided bar diagram is a percentage bar diagram, in which, like subdivided bar diagram, we show a big bar in which division of different items is given. But the difference is that in the case of subdivided bar diagram, we plot absolute values, whereas in percentage bar diagram, we plot the percentage. That is, instead of drawing a big bar showing expenditure of factory A with total as 7640, I will first convert expenditure in percentage and make a bar equal to 100%, and then I will divide it according to percentage of each component. The formula for calculating percentage is component value upon total value into 100. Thus, 400 upon 7640 is 5%, which is shown here. 240 makes 3%, which is shown here. 3500 makes 46%, which is shown like this. Unlike subdivided bar diagram, the height of all percentage bar diagrams is same because total of percentage bar diagram is always 100%. Also, like subdivided bar diagram, here we need to give the key box or index in order to differentiate between different type of variables. Deviation bar diagram, another very important and interesting diagram, which is more or less like a simple bar diagram, but here along with positive values we also show negative values. For example, profit and loss, whereas profit is shown in the positive quadrant and loss is shown in the negative quadrant. Net exports and net imports, where net export is shown in the positive quadrant and net imports are shown in the negative quadrant. In this type of diagram, first of all we need to calculate the value which we have to plot. For example, I have been given the value of export and import. So first step is to calculate net exports, which will be calculated by subtracting imports from export. After calculating net export, the next step is to plot the values. All the positive values will be plotted on the positive quadrant, whereas all negative values will be plotted on the negative quadrant as shown in the diagram. Next category is broken bar diagram. Again, it is an extension of the simple bar diagram in which we make a broken bar to show a value which is abnormally high. The gap in between the bars shows the abnormally high value. Let's understand it with the help of an example. In this given example, all values are very close to each other, but one value, that is 2860, is abnormally high. Thus, it can be drawn as a broken bar where this gap will show that the value of this bar is extended beyond the scale of y-axis. It is similar to simple bar diagram with the only variation that abnormally high value is shown with a broken bar because diagram cannot stretch beyond the limit of the page. These were the important type of one-dimensional bar diagrams. Now coming to a pie diagram. A pie diagram is shown with the help of a circle in which a circle is divided into different sectors depending upon the value given. In order to draw a pie diagram, the step 1 is to convert given absolute values in the terms of degree. The formula to convert absolute value in degrees is component value upon total into 360. For example, 62 will be 62 upon total 166 into 360, which will be 134 degrees. Like this, by applying the formula, we will calculate degrees of all the components. Next step is to show these degrees in the circle, or what we call as a pie diagram. In order to draw the pie diagram, the best way is to keep your D like this with radius as your base. Keeping this horizontal radius as base, draw the first angle. For example, here it is 134 degrees. After drawing this angle, take arm of this angle as base of the next angle, that is 102. In order to draw 102 degrees, arm of previous angle will act as the base. Keeping this as base, draw the next angle. After drawing this angle, the arm of this angle will act as the base of another angle, that is 76 degrees, and so on. That's how we will draw the pie diagram. I hope you understand construction of one-dimensional and two-dimensional diagrams, and you will draw neat, clean and attractive diagrams in order to present your data in a meaningful manner. Thank you and have a good day.